It's the Sumo Show, the podcast that discusses everything that's going on in Japanese Grand Sumo. Whether you've been steeped in sumo lore since the Heisei era, like me, Stan, or you're a dedicated fan who wants to get deeper to what's happening on and off the dohyo, like our good friend Troy, or you're brand new to the world of sumo and just want to learn what it's all about, no matter how much you know about the sport, the Sumo Show has something for you. So let's throw some purifying salt into the ring, do a few big Shiko foot stomps, and see what's new on this week's episode of the Sumo Show. So konnichiwa, everyone, and Okaeri, welcome back to my co-host Troy.
Well, how to do?
Howdy doody, sumo neighbor.
I woke up this morning and said, Banzukes.
Banzukes. Banzukes, it's a Banzukes day.
It's a Banzukes day.
We're going to look at that Banzukes and we're going to see what's what, because we got a sumo tournament starting in about 15 days. 10 days, something like that.
Some days, some measure
Some
of
days that are more than 7 and less than 14.
I'm looking forward to it. I have been, it's been a minute.
It's been 2 months.
Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to sort of re-immersing myself in the world.
Yeah, you were also very you had a lot of other things going on during the last tournament that kept your attention kind of split.
Very true. But here I am. I'm back. I'm ready for it.
Here you are.
Ready
Here
spaghetti.
I am. Sumo like a hurricane.
What is he saying between that? What does he say?
I don't know.
I don't either. Neither do I. You know what? My Banzukes time is also one of my favorite times because our personal dear friend Fred Pink puts out his charts.
Yes, we get a brand new, fresh Fred Pink chart to look at today.
Right off the presses, yeah. I love it.
And it's a very interesting difference between last tournament and this tournament. You look at how the arrows and lines are going.
I am very much looking forward to that. Yeah, because it was a bit of an experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, in between the May and July tournament, we had that bit where the entire top of the Maegashira groups, Maegashira 1 to 5, like all lost, and so it was just utter chaos in the block just below the top of the Banzuke, and that wasn't so much true last time as predicted. So it's a very, sometimes you're looking at them and you can see trends and differences, and sometimes like this time you look at it and go, those look like completely different sets of circumstances.
Right.
But yes, there was a very long Jungyo exhibition tour after the last tournament. In fact, it just wrapped up last week. They were going pretty much nonstop throughout August into early September on these.
Is it because of the time of year, or is it what happens this time of year, or was there something else going on?
Well, I mean, usually the summer Jungyo is long, but this one seems to have been especially long. And one of the reasons is that in October, they're going on an international Jungyo. They're going to London. And so it seems like they have they're trying to make up for the fact that some of their usual fall tours are not happening by cramming in extra stops in the summer tour.
I see.
And so it was just a very long, and that's a pretty grueling thing. Like it's a bus tour, right? They're going from one town to another on coach buses like we would take, and except they're the rickshaw.
Yeah.
They've got to get up early and go to the facility each day and put on the show. Right? It's in the morning. They're doing warm up and greetings with the locals and training of different sorts, and then they have a little lunchtime break, and in the afternoon they go back and have exhibition matches until the middle of the afternoon. And
All those
so
big boys on a bus, like
and
I'm
then they
imagining.
get back on a bus and drive to
Yeah.
the next town.
Is it a fancy bus?
Nope. Well, I mean, it's not a crappy bus, but no, it's not a fancy. It's not like a rock star, like a rock and roll tour
Yeah.
fancy bus. It's a touring bus. It's a general kind. It's a coach, probably with bigger seats than usual. Maybe only two a row instead of three. I don't know. I
Right.
mean, they don't cram them in there, but except they're going to be crammed in there because they're big guys in a bus.
It's something else, my friend. I just grueling, especially this time of
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
You know, it's just like you see some of the pictures
Oh
from,
yeah, and in
and they just
Japan
look,
in August it is hot and humid. I mean, it's
yeah,
hot like 90 degrees and hotter, and 90% humidity and hotter all the time. And
yeah. It's too much.
yeah,
That's too much.
it's tough. It's tough. I tell you, one of the things I didn't do in my prep for the show was take quite as close notes as I had, because there was like a faucet of information about so and so's hurt, but he'll probably be back, and so and so's feeling better, but not so much, and then so and so is doing okay, but is skipping a day. So I just didn't take notes. But we had a bunch of Rikishi who didn't show up at all for the Jungyo because of injury. Um, Included among them are the ones that were a few of the people that were injured at the end of last tournament, like Takeru Fuji, who had that
Yeah.
bicep tear.
Ugh.
And so he missed the entire thing. Takakeisho missed, Takayasu missed most of it, perhaps going on all of it. Hoshoryu missed a bunch of it as he was recovering from that toe thing that bugged him during the last tournament. Yeah, there's a whole lot of Rikishi that were in and out and not showing up, and it means that they didn't have quite that. They never get time to just rest and recuperate.
Yeah.
But being
Yeah.
on tour makes it even harder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's a lot of question, and as will often happen coming into the Aki Basho, there's a lot of question of how ready are they really? Because they've been doing the Jungyo, but they haven't. And particularly with this extra long Jungyo, some of them are just now a week away from the tournament, starting to do their match practice. Their tachi-ai, like steady tachi-ai and steady have fights against other guys about their level to get their rhythm and their ring sense back to where it needs to be. Some, like I say, some of them are just starting now. So it's always a interesting question coming into the Aki Basho.
That is, yeah, it's grueling. It is definitely, you know, we talk about it quite often and worry about sort of the general care and maintenance of the Rikishi, and you know, are they being pushed? Are they pushing themselves too hard? You know, or you know, how's your stub toe? Are you, you know?
How is that thing, which sounds like it shouldn't really be a bother, but it is a big bother when you're a
Oh yeah,
300-pound guy in a fighting sport.
You know, and I don't mean to doubt that.
No, I mean, and I don't. You don't sound like you do, but I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
It's just there are things that are super important that in real life seem like, oh, okay, you stubbed your toe, yeah,
Right.
it's a big deal for a Rikishi.
Yeah.
If you've done it badly enough that you need to see a doctor about it. If you and I do that, you know, they wrap it up in a bandage and you get some Epsom salts and they say, stay off your foot for a little
I
while.
touch you my day every day, broken toe or not.
That's right.
I head long right into the day, launching right off that broken toe. But yeah,
that's one thing. Doing it into a 300-pound guy trying to stop you and drive you the other way is another.
Well, they're much faster than me, so you know I never really get to them, but I try.
Yeah. So the Jungyo, like I say, just wrapped up, and they, in fact, on Friday, which was yesterday over there, they had the there's a all practice in front of the Sumo Association and the YDC, and it's public, and the head of the Sumo Association and other Oyakatas will talk to the press afterwards and say what they think about how someone is looking or what they did, particularly in this performance. Uh, like, I mean, for example, in this one, the our two Yokozuna and Ozeki fought each other for about 15 matches,
Mm.
which they don't get to do, and all three of them were like, "We should do that more often. That's really good practice." Um, and as often happens in those practices, Hoshoryu got the better of both of them, but then there's still questions coming around about whether or not he's really ready for the tournament, right? Talking about he had 5 matches against Onosato, and or no, he had 8 matches against him, and in the first 5 they were pretty even, and then Hoshoryu in the last few just got in a rhythm and beat him and beat him and beat him, which is great. Except on match day, you only have the first match.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So the fact that he's able to keep going and be dominant at the end of their interactions is great. Says a lot about his conditioning and his moves and his wiles. But it doesn't say a lot about his. It doesn't say as much about his preparedness for 15 days of one match a day. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
I think
Um,
so. Uh, hey, a question for you.
yes.
When you think of so, I find sumo to be particularly hard to meme. You know how the kids are making them memes.
I hear that the kids like to make the memes.
They do. I was talking to one of the kids the other day, and they said, "So I'm working on a meme." I'm like, "You're working on a what?"
I'm memeing it up.
A meme, a meme. But there, there was a winning meme on Sumo Memes for the Nagoya Basho,
Yeah.
and they were answering the question, "What's the best part of having two Yokozuna?"
Yeah.
And I thought the answer was pretty darn funny. I'm going to try to share it without knocking your noggin off the screen. Let's do this. Let's see. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? That's there.
I don't know. What do you got?
Here, I'll put it. Where did you go?
It's just a funny look on his face.
It's funny, and he's doing the little hearts, and the answer is
Double the chances
double
for
the
a
chances.
Kimboshi.
I
Well,
thought that was really funny.
well, it's the Tamawashi, the guy with the most Kimboshi of any active wrestler. Of course, that's a great answer. There we
Yeah,
go.
super
Just
great
keep
answer.
adding to it.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. And just the answer with the picture and the person, all of it
Yeah.
just works
Yeah.
perfectly. It was just chef's kiss of a meme, so I thought I'd share that.
That is quite good.
Yeah, and we often comment about how many, they're giving out stars like it's Mario Kart or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, hey, what are you gonna do? That is the season of Kimboshi.
It is the season of Kimboshi. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, as our Yokozunas settle into their rank, they will do less of that. But with Hoshoryu, that was always the worry, right? That was one of the things we talked about before the promotion got done, and that his standard uh, performance was to get losses in week one, and then tighten up and beat the best people in week two. You know, if he keeps doing that, he's going to be giving away a lot of Kimboshi for
Yeah.
the whole of his career.
And that's just not the
Yeah.
not the record he was looking to set.
Right. And then for Onosato, I mean, there's just so much. He's still got. I mean, he's great. We love him. He's he is, I think, the dominant rikishi of anyone at the moment. But he's still, only 2 years into his career. So there's a lot of room for him to. A lot of things he still needs to learn, and a lot of behaviors he's got to grow into.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for talking to me. I'll see you next time.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. Right now, Stan and I are in a heat wave here in Seattle, and so we're cooked. So if we seem a little slow, it's because we are. It is hot and humid, and I'm ready to.
Well, I mean, relatively speaking, I mean, it's hot and humid for here. Other parts of the country, this would be normal.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like
the temperature. What the temperature now is? It's only 75 where I'm at.
75. That is scorching.
But it's because of the lack of good, heat insulation and air conditioning and other things. It feels hot it's hot and humid in my apartment.
The other problem we're having here is there's a lot of smoke in the air. It's very smoky. I don't know if you can hear my voice
that this morning.
Yeah, it's so my voice is very froggy right now. Not because I'm feeling sick, but just because it is very smoky. So it sounds so street.
Oh well. Let's. You know what? This is not. Let's complain about the weather show.
Oh, that's our tomorrow podcast. I forgot.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I got confused a little bit.
Come back. And
little sneak peek for you friends.
Let's look at the Banzuke. The Banzuke came out on Monday, and we've got our listing of who is where and what are they doing. So we got Onosato is now the Yokozuna East. He had an interesting thing to say in one of his press interviews that his Oyakata, the former Yokozuna Kisanasato, gave him advice when he was coming up. He said, when you get to Ozeki, yes, you want to go to Yokozuna, but your first goal is to be Ozeki East. That means you're better than the other Ozeki. When you get promoted to Yokozuna, your goal is to be Yokozuna East. And so, and this will shift, right? It changes each time based on it's an order. It's in the order of how well they all did in the previous tournament.
That's right. I remember you shared that, or taught me that pretty early on, but I had forgotten for a moment. But yeah, so that's
So Onosato did not win his opening tournament as a Yokozuna. In fact, gave away even more Kimboshi gold stars than Hoshoryu did, but he did have a better record, and so he is Yokozuna East. Hoshoryu, who had to pull out again. Of the 3 tournaments he has been Yokozuna, he has only fought a full 15 days in one of them. He's Yokozuna West.
Sure.
Both of them seem pretty good and ready to go. We'll see. Hoshoryu did have a little bit of a shoulder injury towards the end of the Jungyo that made him stop doing practice matches for the last few stops. Which was, of course, worrying. But like I say, on Friday, he went to the all Heia practice and beat Onosato and Kotozakura in their head-to-heads. So, can't be that bad.
For Hoshoryu, too, this is just such a critical moment. It really is okay, all right, now he's doing it. Or, wow, this is,
There was one of the Japanese sports tabloids, one of the sumo writers, just this week wrote an article about that, how critical a time, and this, he can't, if he keeps getting hurt and not finishing, he might have to retire. Which at this point I think is a little early to be blowing that horn.
Right.
And certainly that's a thing that you look at, right? If he can't get healthy, it will they'll and if he can't get healthy and a few of these other guys manage to up their games and get promoted, then pressure may be applied to him to get out of there. But given how they rushed to get him in there, and
Yeah.
how much they don't want to be without a Yokozuna. In fact, how much they do want to have multiple Yokozunas so they could have that that kind of competition going on. I don't think he is in any danger of being forced to retire. But that having been said, your point of it's kind of critical for his reputation as a Yokozuna. We worried about him when he got promoted because he had only ever won 2 tournaments, and he still has. And his my my prediction was that for the near future he was going to continue to be someone who wins 1 tournament a year, which is not great for a Yokozuna. He's not looking like he's about to break out of that. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he is. But keep dealing with recurring injuries is not going to help him snap out of that.
Right. Yeah. And it's not going to help the people who are saying, you're saving face,
right.
with your toe.
It's your toe is making you lose face.
Yeah.
Get my toe out. Get your toe out of my face.
Get your toe out of here. Yeah.
Onosato, on the other hand, did not do great in his debut as a Yokozuna. Didn't do terrible, but he certainly, he's won
better, yeah.
He's won more tournaments in the last year than anyone else. So he needs to get back to that. The way he's looked recently is that he's won a tournament and then not done so great the next tournament, and then won a tournament and not done as great the next tournament. So if that keeps up, this is a tournament where he's going to look really sharp and potentially win. There are a lot of other pressures on him. I'm not sure that we can count on that being an easy rhythm that we can count on. But right now, that's the beat that's on the turntable. Let's see. Kotozakura, our one Ozeki. We still have only one Ozeki.
Yeah.
So this time, Hoshoryu is going to be the one who will be a Yokozuna Ozeki, ranking-wise, because the rules of sumo say there must be 2 Ozeki. And as I said last time, this is not a demotion. It's not a knock on his career. It's not any kind of mark against him. It's just the way they've got to have 2 Ozeki. So if they don't, and then one of the Yokozuna has to fill that role as well as being a Yokozuna. And it's all just clerical. And it doesn't mean anything. But there it is. Because he's not Yokozuna East, he's going to be Yokozuna Ozeki. Kotozakura did not do amazing last tournament. In fact, looked a little dicey.
Yeah.
And has not looked great in the Jugyo. And again, also hasn't looked terrible, but he made a leap forward to get this promotion. He had been kind of hanging around in the Sanyaku upper Maegashira levels, not getting close to having those 30 wins. Then he did it, and now he seems to kind of have settled back into that previous, rather than taking that surge forward and saying, all right, this is what I am now, and I'm going to try and get even further. He seems to have settled back to the way he had been performing. And same story that we had when we talked about Hoshoryu. There, people will have good runs, and it's important not to expect them to perform at their absolute peak all the time, because they won't.
Right. Yeah. There's an ebb and a flow, right? There's
Yeah,
there's just the cycle, the bobbing up
right.
and the bobbing down, and yeah.
Right. And our hopes are what we see when we watch a Rikshi's career is that they make these leaps up and they suddenly their regular gets better. They also have moments where they just do really well for a tournament or two and then they fall back down. It's hard to tell. Only time will tell. So is Kotozakura ready to start pressing for being Yokozuna? Is he gonna win a tournament?
Mm.
Maybe, maybe, but he's not. He's not given everyone great confidence that he has made some kind of leap and improvement, particularly since in his matches against Onosato and Hoshoryu, he gets the fuzzy end of the lollipop.
Right. Gross. Yeah, absolutely. But now we move into this very interesting little pocket of people that I think are generating a lot of excitement right
Yes, yes. All right. Next, we've got our Sanyaku rank. Now, when we came in last time, we had 3 Rikishi who had the potential of being promoted to Ozeki.
now.
One of whom was Daisho, who we see is not even there anymore because he was
Yeah.
out he was out of the entire last tournament with an injury. And Kirishima, he got his Kachikoshi, but he did not look as really strong. Takakage came storming up, and he did not do well enough. He needed 13 wins, I think, in order to have a shot at getting the promotion in July. And I think we talked about it, right? We didn't expect him to get it then. That was asking a lot. But he did have a very strong tournament, and he's in a position now to get that promotion.
Promotion.
If he can get 11 wins, I think he's got a strong shot at it.
Now, what do you think of Takayasu?
Takayasu, I love Takayasu. Takayasu
Everybody
is 30,
does.
34 years old,
Yeah.
and he's got aching back, and
Yeah.
some tournaments he shows up and he's looking great, and some tournaments he shows up and he's looking great, and then his back goes out. And some tournaments he shows up and he's just not quite in that,
Kind of looks around like he's wandered on.
Yeah. So I hope that the very best Takayasu shows up.
Yeah.
But he did have a back flare up about 2 weeks ago, and he's back doing practicing and on the dohyo, but he's not pushing himself super hard because he's protecting his back. Kirishima, hope that he's getting it. I don't know what he had. The injury is what pulled him down from his big perch at Ozeki, and he's come back and he just hasn't been able to get himself in that same dominant rhythm. He's good one tournament and the little hiccupy the next tournament, and every once in a while just out and out bad for a tournament. So I hope that he's whatever that is, whatever the problems are, and some of them are going to be physical, right? He's now got injuries that are going to nag him for the rest of his career. But some of it really does seem to be getting into that flow state, getting into that mental state, and he's not been able to recapture it. And I hope he does. I think it would be great. I don't want him to have to end his career being the first Mongolian wrestler ever to make it to Ozeki and not get promoted to Yokozuna.
Right.
In order for that not to be the case, he's got to get back to Ozeki. And it doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. Time flies pretty quickly when you're a Rikishi.
Truth.
You better do it soon.
Yeah, that's right. The whole entire timeline is accelerated based on your injuries. And hey, Linnea's in the chat.
Good Hello, Linnea. Of course he's going to win.
Of course he's going to win.
Of course he's going to win. And then we got Aonishiki, the Ukrainian, who has been promoted to Komusubi. Quickest ascent to Komusubi from start of a career without having an advanced placement like Onosato and the other college Rikishi did. It's just 12 tournaments to get up to Komusubi. So I think that ties a record. Doesn't break a record, but it ties a record. Um, so looking good. Very exciting. Again, he has made that super fast ascension, and as we've seen with so many people, that means he's now fighting people that are at a level he's never fought before, and he's
Mhm.
fighting them every day. And so there's just a question of are are they going to figure him out, and suddenly he's going to need an answer that he's never needed before, or is he for real and he's about to push up to Sekiwake and beyond. Um, uh, Linnea thinks he's going to fizzle out. Linnea's got opinions on everything. I
Love it.
love it. I love it. Anishki, I'm a little worried, but he surprised me last tournament. I thought he was going to fizzle last tournament.
Yeah.
And he really didn't. So I'm not a full on believer yet, but I'm looking at him with a real I don't know, how good is this guy?
Right. Making you take a double look.
Yeah. And then we go into our Maegashira ranks. Upper Maegashira, we've got Tamawashi and Abi are both ranked at Maegashira 1. Tamawashi, oldest guy in the division, 40 years old. Oldest guy to get a Kimboshi ever last time, which broke his own old record. He's got 2 Yokozuna, so he's going to have 2 more chances this tournament. Every tournament, he's going to have 2 chances to add to his
star
record.
collection.
And
Yeah.
he's got a pretty good record against Hoshodio. So every Rikishi has people they do better and worse against. The Yokozuna, the great Yokozuna, the Hakuho,
Yeah.
and Kisuna Sato, as a great Ozeki, and then Yokozuna, and but Hakuho just beat everyone all the time.
Right. So there wasn't like a fly in his ointment.
The only people that gave him trouble were Kisuna Sato and Haruma Fuji, another Yokozuna and an Ozeki.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not true for our current our Yokozuna, our current Yokozuna and Ozeki haven't been at that height long enough, and there's no they don't have a dominance over everyone around them. They're come from a history of losing 3 to 5 matches a tournament.
Right.
And in this situation, that's going to mean giving away some gold stars. Tamawashi, I don't know what it is, but he's got something in his head that makes Hoshouryu it's got him in his sights.
Yeah,
and it's not like he runs him and Hoshouryu doesn't have a chance, but that's a matchup that is a dangerous one for Hoshouryu. Abi, in the meanwhile, back up to Maegashira 1. I don't know. He's Abi, right? He definitely has. We watched him over the last year. He'll have great tournaments and then bad tournaments, and he's not dropped way down the Banzuke, but he's been up in the Sanyaku and he's been down about Maegashira 4 or 5, and
yeah.
So now he's back at Maegashira 1, and the question is this going to be the tournament where he jumps back up into Sanyaku, or where he drops back down a little bit? And is this tournament where he's going to do a lot of henkas, or is this one where he's going to come out of nowhere with those big quick arms and just dominate people, or both? I don't know.
It does sort of feel like he comes in and out of his villain era,
So he's a guy that I never really feel like I've got a line on what to expect from him, which maybe is part of his plan. Maybe that's why he is who he is. So yeah, he certainly could do well, but I don't know that I expect it. Maegashira 2, we've got Haku Oho has made it all the way up to Maegashira 2. His comeback from that near near Yusho and then having his shoulder pop out is seems to be complete in that he's back here. Now, I guess it'll be complete if he can hold on. If he's going to become a regular here at the top of the Banzuke in the upper Maegashira and possibly Sanyaku. His goal, he said in interviews this week, his goal at the start of the year was to get to Sanyaku this year. So at Maegashira 2, that means that if he gets a winning record, he's got a shot at it. And
JJ's in chat and says, I might have missed the Tamawashi talk, but him breaking his own record for the oldest Sanyaku promotion by 3 years is very on point for him. He's kind of
he's something else.
He's old guy doing all the old things.
Old guy beats young guy.
Old guy wins by hanging out.
We were talking about Tamawashi, and one of the things we talked about a fair bit was how he seems to have Hoshoryu's number. A little bit. I mean, it's not like he beats him all the time, but he seems to go in there with a sparkle in his eye and a wink like, I know something you don't, Junior.
Yeah, exactly. I've been around a long time, kid.
So Haku Oho and Oho at Maegashira 2, Atami Fuji, whose birthday it was this week. And
happy birthday, Atami Fuji. I know you're a listener.
Atami Fuji, now the heaviest guy in the division. He gained a few pounds. And
congratulations.
I don't know that's awesome for him, but
you've done it, my friend.
Go Tommy Fuji. Hopefully he's back and feeling good. Always worried about him and that hip arthritis. You just never know when that's going to be problematic. Konoyama looking better after having a rough year. He's looking better the last couple of tournaments. Hopefully he's going to be looking sharp. Hidedomi, you know what? Honestly, I don't remember what he did last tournament. I remember that after doing really well, he stumbled for a little while. I think that last tournament was just kind of a round of 50-50 for him. So hopefully it was you know what? I can sneak a peek at this thing. This will tell me. Hidedomi last time was 8-7. Yeah, so about 50-50. He's one of those guys that when he's on, and no one he's flailing around, right? He's the guy that's always just smacking and driving and crazy talk. And how do you stop him? And when he's off, those don't land, and he's just out before he knows what's going on.
Flailing himself right out of the ring.
Wakamoto Haru, who was up in the Sanyaku for a while and had took a little rest apparently. Hopefully he's getting his stuff together. He or was it? I remember which one of them. I think it was Wakataka Kage missed the all Heya practice because he had a fever. But word was that he tested negative for COVID and that he'd be back in practice.
Got it. Now, what do you think of this Kota Shoho?
This Kota Shoho is a big question, right? He won the last tournament and looked really good doing it. I think my personal opinion is that was his best. That was him peaking. Now the question is, does this represent a rise of what his average is going to be to somewhere? I don't think he'll do that good again, but can he do almost that good and start to become a guy who lives here in the upper Maegashira and Sanyaku? Or was that really a great 2 weeks and he's going to go back to kind of the average of what he'd been performing at? And I don't know. I was kind of surprised that he did what he did last time. I expected him to show his feat of dohyo clay, and he
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't. He looked great, and he stuck with it, and he showed what he can do. And so this will be the tournament, or the first opportunity for him to show. Is this the new Koto Shoho? Is this what we can expect all the time?
Right. How did he do in between the Bashos?
I don't remember reading a lot about what he was doing.
Okay.
So I don't know. Certainly, so he wasn't making headlines. Let's just say that.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
The best thing I can say is that he wasn't making headlines.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
Ichi Yamamoto, also speaking of our good friend JJ, is his favorite guy up here at Maegashira 5. It's going to be a tough choice. So these are our choices on the Fantasy Sumo for Upper Maegashira. Tamawashi Abi, Hakuoho, Oho, Atami Fuji, Gonoyama, Hiradomi, Wakamoto Haru, Koto Shoho, and Ichi Yamamoto. That's an interesting group to try and pick from.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. So when you're looking at those, so when you're at that sort of a moment where it's almost like a stalemate, or you're trying to make your picks, what helps you break them up? Like, is it do you go into some obscure math?
You know what? It's a little bit of math and then a whole lot of gut.
Yeah.
And what I try to do is not pick the one that I want, that I'm picking it.
Yes. Yeah.
I try to avoid that.
Judgment. Yeah.
Now that doesn't always work out for me, because sometimes the reason I like a guy is that they've got good heart too.
Yeah.
JJ says, just because he's my fave doesn't mean I'm gonna pick him. I don't know. Maybe.
Where's your loyalty?
Well, that's how you wind up. That's what you do all the time, Troy.
Yeah, either it's a joke, or I go with my heart, and I end up not at the top. But this time I'm doing it different.
You look like a genius.
Yeah, right. Indeed, indubitably. Yeah, no, I've got a plan. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think I know who my lineup's going to be.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So for the middle area, starting at Maegashira 6, we've got Onokatsu and Kuseno. Kuseno, new to the tournament. In fact, we see he still doesn't have a full head of hair. He's still got his
working
civilian haircut. So looking good. And he so every time he gets a bump up, this is the first time for him in this rarefied air. Will he thrive, or does he need to go back for a little more tempering? Don't know. Onokatsu, also pretty young. He's was Onosato's main rival in college. So he has been a little slower to make his way up the Banzuke, but he's been making it. He's got here on the verge of Upper Maegashira.
We had hoped there to be more of a rivalry, or
you know what, when he came in, a lot of us, including me, kind of bought into it's going to be just like that, and he's going to fly up there, and they're going to go at it, and that would have made a nice movie.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's not what happened in real life.
Not at all. No.
Takanosho here 7, along with Oshoma. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what. I haven't heard anything about either of them on the Jungyo. So, on their show, they call it Gumby math. 30% math, 65% vibe, 5% luck. There you go.
There you go.
That's a good mix. Uda back down here at Maegashira 8. Along with Kim Bozan. Is he gonna get back with it? He went charging up there. We thought that he finally was gonna start performing like everyone has wanted him to the last few years, and like so many people, it seems like he found that getting up there and having to fight, I don't know, it's a combination of the pressure and just having to fight the best guys every day for 15 days, right? That's
Right.
the difference, right? Can you beat some of those guys? That's one question. That's how you earn your ticket up there. Can you get a Kachikoshi when 11 of your 15 matches are against those guys? That's when you prove that you deserve to be among the elite.
Right.
And so far, Kimbozan has passed the former test and not done so great on the latter one. But here he's back in his position at Maegashira 8, where he doesn't have to go against the top guys all the time. Good position for him to do well, get some matches against some of the lower guys, and then if he gets himself in the right headspace, put in his best performances on the days when he's fighting the upper guys, and he could have a very good tournament. Or he could do his best against the lower guys and just get rolled when he goes up there. Who knows? He's not proven that he's got it, but he does prove that it's somewhere in his bag.
Right.
Midori Fuji down at Maegashira 9, along with Fujinokawa and Daisho, who, as we said, he had been Sekiwake last time with a possibility of an Ozeki promotion, but missed the whole tournament, has dropped all the way down to Maegashira 10. Word is that he's better. He's healthy. He hasn't been doing practice bouts, but he's been practicing and getting himself physically fit. And so at Maegashira 10, that seems like a guy who 2 tournaments ago was fighting for an Ozeki promotion. Maegashira 10 is a really good place for him to have a good tournament. And Chura Naomi is our other Maegashira 10. JJ says he's convinced Kimbozan's issues are all headspace. He's such a good wrestler when he's locked in. Yeah, well, I think you're right. But that's the game. That's the difference between an elevator rikishi and a perennial in the Sanyaku.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so now let's look at our lower rikishi, our lower Maegashira rikishi, and we start with everyone's favorite, Shodai.
Aim for the middle.
He aimed for the middle, and he made it.
Yeah, he did. He middled it real hard.
Yeah, well, freaking Shodai. Last tournament, he looked like he was doing good, and he wound up with a 9-6, but he had started really strong. If I remember last tournament correctly, he started off hot and then had a really weak middle of the tournament, and then pulled it out at the end. JJ says the difference in the elite is the mind space and incredible skill. Yeah. Well, I mean, to an extent, right? When you find your level, that's the mind space is the difference, right? There's a certain level of skill that gets you to a spot, and then how you rank among those people lives in your mind space. And so we often wind up saying on the show, right? Can you come in and do this every day for 15 days? And it's harder than that sentence makes it seem.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is harder than that sentence makes it seem, and you hope that that's what they can pull off. But boy, their past performance notwithstanding,
Yep. Then at Maegashira 12, we got 2 names of folks we like, Takeru Fuji and Mitakeumi. Takeru Fuji, of course, had not a great tournament. He tore his bicep and kept fighting anyway. Which was a terrible idea. And he had surgery on it, and it's unclear if he is going to be in the tournament. They've not announced. He certainly has not started doing sparring yet. Um, Although he is apparently back to physical training. I would bet if I had to bet, if I didn't have to bet, I wouldn't because I don't know. But if you made me, I would say I bet he's not gonna fight, and that if he doesn't fight, he's gonna drop back down to Jurio again.
Yeah.
So this will now be the second time that he got way up the Banzuke, was in the hunt for Yusho, and got an injury, and could drop all the way down into the second division and have to claw his way back again.
JJ says, how much was that him versus Isagahama? I wonder when he was Terunofuji, he certainly had a power through the pain mentality.
Yeah. Terunofuji certainly did, until he couldn't anymore.
Yeah.
And you see, Hakuho did that in the last bit of his career, particularly the last tournament of his career, where he everyone that's talked about it since then has said that there was a point where he was just thinking about throwing it in, but he had a perfect record.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to give up, and he fought through, and not only did he win the tournament, he won it with a perfect record. He won it beating Terunofuji on the final day. And that was just sheer will and determination and fighting spirit. And, to set that mindset, that headspace that we're talking
and that's sumo. Yeah.
And JJ says he thinks it's a very poor choice for a young, talented individual like Takeru Fuji. Yeah, I think that staying around and fighting through those injuries is a terrible idea for him, because he's just giving himself injuries that won't go away.
No, they'll just exacerbate. Yeah.
I'm glad that he got the surgery on it, which it wasn't sure he was going to, but he needs to give himself time to heal and just take the demotion, right? Drop down to
keep your body and work your way back up when you're healthier. When you've healed.
And then also at Maegashira 12, we got Mitakeumi, the former Ozeki, who looked like he was getting ready to bottom out. And I remember at the end of May, you and I were talking about, this may be the last time we see him. And he managed to not get dropped into Jurio, and he had a pretty dang good tournament last time. It started off strong anyway. He had a little stumble in the second half. But he looked, for a while, he looked like the old Mitakeumi.
Yeah, he did.
So, again, the question was that something he did last tournament because he had to, like getting his back against the wall pushed him there, and he's going to fall back to what he's looked like recently? Or is he feeling ready to maybe hang out here in the middle Maegashira range? I don't think he's going to make a comeback at this point. There are too many things going against him and too many injuries going against him. But
be a good story. It would be
great. It would be a great story, and it's entirely possible that he's figured something out which will allow him to do medium okay and just kind of get his Kachikoshi every other tournament and hang out around here for a little while.
Causing trouble for the
I think this Kachikoshi for him was his first in 8 tournaments. The one that got him last time, something like that. It had been a while. So is he ready to start mixing it up and getting, even if it's 1 Kachikoshi and 2 Makekoshis, if they're close, that'll keep him in the top division for another 6 months to a year.
Yep.
Because I think that once he drops down, maybe either to Jurio, but certainly if he can't hang in Jurio, he's not going to go back into the lower divisions. He'll retire. So I hope we're going to see a medium stronger Mitakeumi again.
Me too.
I like that guy.
Yeah, it's good when he's around.
Meisei also continues to be hurt, and he missed all of last tournament, I think. I think he missed all of it. I don't remember. He missed a bunch of it. Certainly didn't look good. Meisei last tournament was 3-12. Oh no, it was just 12. It was terrible. So hopefully whatever was bugging him, he's ironed out, because he's also late in his career, and this could be his swan song. If he does that record again, he's going to be down in Juryo for sure. Tokihate, Sadanomi, and Asakoryu, they're at Maegashira 14, Maegashira 15. Tobizaru, who just had a miserable tournament.
Not a good one at all. Yeah.
He was injured. I don't remember what it was. I remember afterwards that the commentators talking about the fact that, well, of course he was injured. No one talked about it during the tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hopefully he's feeling better, and we're going to see a good flying monkey. Again, for him, if he's feeling good, being ranked down here at Maegashira 15 means he's going to be fighting guys that'll give him a chance to rack up some wins.
Yeah.
Shonan Naomi. He's had a not so great tournament recently. Is he back from Juryo, or is he just saved himself from? Oh, he's back up. He had dropped down to Juryo, and he managed to come back this time. So we'll see. Hopefully he's gonna start to wrestle like he had before, because he looked like someone who would be in, that was doing good in the upper half of the Maegashira ranks, and then injury, and again, also I think he was a headspace guy. JJ said Tobizaru had a messed up elbow. That's right. Yes, I did hear about that. So hopefully his elbow's doing better. I don't know. So hard to tell. Because it's, the thing about that kind of injury is it didn't show. You couldn't easily tell it was an elbow problem that was bothering him. I don't know. Maegashira 16, we got Tomokaze and Nishikigi. Ryuden is back from second division, and Hitoshi's there. And Shishi
hanging on by a thread.
Hangs on by the skin of his teeth. He was 17 West last tournament and had a Makekoshi. So he's just lucky that there's an 18 East for him to fall to. They snuck an 18 below him, and he landed on it.
When they took away his magic dance, I think they took away his strength.
It was the butt wiggle. They
let the man wiggle. Let the man wiggle. That's going to be my chant.
Wiggle. Yeah. You know what? What I would really like is they let him wiggle, and they play the Bewitched special effects sound.
That's great. I'll have to go do some hunting for some sound effects.
So yes, that is how the Banzuke looks.
Very interesting. I know for sure where I'm headed this time. I've thought long and hard about it. I've done some soul searching. I've
some soul searching. How do I feel about this?
I know that it's not going to be. I'm not going to pick old Dippy middle of the stacks.
No, you might.
No,
I've just in our private chat. I've just sent you. That's a link to the submission form for our
what?
Fantasy Oyakata game. You got it?
Fantasy Oyakata.
Yes, that's it.
Yes, I got it.
Yes. So post that to the chat. And that's where you can go. The form is up. Now is the time to do it. You have until the 13th of September at noon Pacific time to get your submission in. And it's up and live. I posted it during the week. I posted it to the Facebook group. No one filled it out, so we still have no submissions so far.
What's the deadline again?
The 13th
13th.
at noon Pacific, or until Troy gets his in.
So it could be the 15th.
Could be. Well, until Troy and I, because there have been times when I've been late. I'm not closing it without me. But more often it's Troy that's late. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
Let's be honest.
No one's shocked.
And if you're watching this or you don't see it in the chat, you can of course go to our Facebook group.
That's right.
We have a Facebook group.
We do.
And there's a link there. I'll be posting it again over the coming week. But you can certainly find it.
Yeah, we'll post it on the YouTube community tab as well, and we'll throw it over into the Sumo r/Sumo over on Reddit, and we will have an airplane do some smoke signals over your house. And we'll send a.
You know what? We're gonna drop that sumo that's in that animation. We're gonna drop it right on your house.
You're just gonna hear "Yay!" as he lands right in your living room.
Fantasy Oyakata. Ah! Smack!
Love it. Love it.
So I'm now gonna switch over here from the Banzuke I was showing to the Fred Pink chart.
Yeah, we like that.
Fred Pink?
Yeah,
we like Fred Pink. Every tournament he puts together this chart. It's a running chart of how people have done from tournament to tournament, which is just a ton of fun to look at, and very, very informative. And he puts them out, and we see the last two tournaments and the current rankings at the end of the year. Sometimes we put together the entire year so you can see a longer view of it. But certainly, as we were talking at the start of the show, a very different look to this one.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Because in May, we had that problem as we looked there at the top of the Maegashira ranking, which he even accented with an arrow there on the left. How many people lost and how they had to shuffle to get lots of people from down in the middle ranks to up to fill those slots. This one is more standard. We see the big drops. Right? We see Onosato and Hoshoryu switching back and forth, and we'll probably see a bunch of that, I think, over the next year. The two of them trading top spot. And Onosato, unless he gets injured or loses his mind, should just be a straight line to Ozeki, because I don't think he's ready to get promoted. But we see Daisho, because he missed a tournament, just drop down there. And Oshoma, who went 3-12 at Komusubi and also looked terrible. Just down.
That is quite a drop.
Yes. Down to Maegashira 7.
Ouch.
But we see the other ones. The Kirishima, kind of a straight line. And Wakataka Kage jumping up a little bit. Wakataka Kage going for, like, his last three tournaments were 12-3 and 10-5. So that puts him at 22 wins. And we know in order to earn an Ozeki promotion, you need to get 33 wins over 3 tournaments as the basic measuring stick. And so he needs if he gets 11 wins this time, he will have succeeded at that. And he's been ranked right here and done that a lot. So I give him a pretty good shot at it. Takayasu went 10-5, so he's bumping up a little. Nishiki getting his first Komusubi ranking, first Sanyaku ranking ever. Let's see, what else have we got? Anyone else with a really, really strong upward? Koto Shoho, of course, down there winning the tournament He won the tournament, and he got the Outstanding Performance and Fighting Spirit awards, and went zoop up to Maegashira 5. All right, well, here's his chance. As we said before, the question is whether this represents him having performed his absolute best and how good he can make his regular, his reliable performance, how close that is to his absolute best.
Yeah.
And of course, now he's at Maegashira 5, he's going to be fighting these top guys all tournament.
Yeah,
So
he's
it'll
set
be
up
a
to
little harder.
either be forged like steel and stronger, and or getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah, we see Atami Fuji at Maegashira 10 went 11-4 and got that big bump up to Maegashira 3. And Mitakeumi, they're 10-5 at Maegashira 16, got a pretty big bump up to Maegashira 12. Tamawashi, 11-4. That was just crazy. Maegashira 4, he went 11-4. The 40-year-old, crazy, all the way up to Maegashira 1. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Like at the bottom, the Shishi he's Maka Koshi, but stays at the bottom.
That's so painful. When I saw that, it just looked
that line is listed as 17 on one tournament and 18 on the next one. And the reason for that is that in Nagoya we had 3 Sekewake.
Yeah, that's right.
This time we're back to just 2, which is what recreated the slot in Maegashira 18.
Hang on. Yeah. I mean, look at him there down there at the bottom. It's not the best. Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully he's figured out something to replace the butt wiggle.
Or maybe he just wiggles his way up to the top. What are they going to do?
Well, they'll stop him. They don't want him to do it. They'll stop him.
They do not. They are not a fan of the wiggle.
Yeah. Look at that. So fascinating to look at those two. The difference in those two charts.
It really is, and a testament to Fred and for putting this together. It's really lent a dimension to our discussions because it really does kind of show the chaos and the unexpectedness, and and it's always fun too. You can, when you head over to fredpink.com, you can download past Basho and check out all of his other stuff he's got here. Also, maybe you're curious as to what concerts the man's been to. You can do that.
He's got charts for everything.
That's right. He's
you
also
should definitely go there and show Fred some support.
100%. Yeah, and he does need to update his height versus weight scatter chart.
Well, I mean, he does those once or twice a year because they only do the measurements twice a year.
Well, I'm just saying, don't we have the heaviest a new record for the heaviest sumo?
Yeah, well, they measure them every 2 tournaments, but they only make a big deal about it at the start of the year and the middle of the year.
I see. Okay,
so I mean, he could update it now. They do these height and weight measurements before each Tokyo tournament. But
it's great. It's great that he does this. It's just very fascinating as another data point to kind of throw into the mix if you're trying to wrap your mind around sumo like I've been for these last few years. And plus, Fred's just a great guy. We've had him on the program and good friend of the show.
Absolutely. So I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Who you're thinking about for you? So on next week's show, we will go back over this again and talk about who we're.
Yeah, I'm gonna reserve my. I think I need to let it marinate a little bit before I commit. Before I start to actualize it. Yeah.
I also very often at this time I've got a very good idea of who I'm picking, and this time I really don't. So
we'll see. A little spoiler alert, I'm feeling a little Waka.
You're feeling a little Waka? Yeah. Waka's a strong choice for Sanyaku, right? And at this point, again, look at it. Let me pull back up the Banzuke replace with this, and there we go. Yeah. So, right, so we got Onosato, Hoshoryu, and Kodazaka, right? That's our champion level. Who are you going to pick? Well, probably Hoshoryu or Onosato.
Yeah. I'll show you. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
not feeling it. I'm just not. Yeah.
But every time you don't pick him, you feel bad about it.
Take care, JJ. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, JJ. Good to see you, my
JJ,
friend.
we're
In the Sanyaku, we've got Wakataka Kage, Kirishima, Takayasu, and Aonishiki. And that is that's one where I really, Wakataka Kage seems like a very strong choice. Aonishiki is that mystery. He's that really kind of tasty mystery that you want to get on the bus. If he's about to do great, you want to be on the bus. Like the people who picked him last time, and I kind of poo-pooed them.
They
How great
knew
was this?
something. Yeah.
So there we go. I think this upper Maegashira is going to be tough. There's a lot. No one stands out as a really superb choice above the others, and a lot of them seem like people that could do quite well.
Yeah.
The middle section, as often happens, is a big melange of
Yeah.
Oh no! I take that back. Because Daisho is at 10, I think looking at that, I think he is, if he's healthy, and maybe that's the thing to keep an eye on this week leading up. If he's recovered,
he can tear through these. Yeah.
I think that he will just eat this level for breakfast.
Yeah. That there's a lot of speculation to that effect, and they people talked about he's got the easiest week ahead.
He seems like the easiest choice, but it's got to be keep your eye on what happens this week in the last week of training to see what the reports are on how he's feeling. And then in our lower section, I wouldn't pick Shishi.
No, no, I would not. None of these folks really speak to me.
Well, again, if word on Tobizadu is that his elbow is actually better, he seems like the hot choice here.
Yeah,
to me today. But again, that, all of that is to say, as we were saying before, I don't know. Right? I'm not ready to make a decision. There's a whole lot in this time.
Couple things I might be I think I know where I'm headed as it relates to the top, but then things get a little mushy in the middle.
Yeah, well,
right.
You know how that is. Little mushy in the middle.
That's right. That's our other podcast, the Mushy Middleman.
So we posted the link. You can go and put your fill out the form so you can take part, and you can always change it. You can not only do you have until the 13th at noon to get your choice in, but even after you put it in, you can change it up until then too. So
and Stan changes his all throughout the whole Basho. He's moving them around and changing his choices, right? I'm kidding. I would never cast aspersions. You're a man of honor.
But my suggestion would be get your choices in early and then tweak them so you don't miss the boat. Don't miss the boat.
Yeah, and don't miss the next show, because that will give you all the details that you need to be successful in the Fantasy Oyakata.
We'll certainly tell you what we think.
Yeah. That's true. Well, whether that's good or bad, well, time will tell.
Yeah. And that next show will be next Friday at this time.
Now, did we talk about doing those on a different day, or am I hallucinating?
Well, you are not fully hallucinating. We've started to do two of our some of the in the middle of the tournament shows. We talked about maybe just moving this to a Sunday night show, rather than a Friday night show. and you and I need to talk about that. But we haven't had a meeting in a while.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've
So
been
we
busy with
haven't
some
talked about
things.
it.
Well, let's say this. Let's say we'll
We'll
do
see.
the
We'll be
Friday.
here either Friday or Sunday next week.
Right. How about that? I know people make changes to their social calendar to hang out with us, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it.
All right. Having said all that, are you you've got your drums
I
ready?
do. I got them. I've ordered a new set. They're not as heavy as the last.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So here we go.
You have been listening to The Sumo Show, a live podcast about the art and sport of sumo. Your hosts tonight have been Stan Brown and Troy Hewitt. Production by Troy Hewitt. Sumoliering by Stan Brown. And initial charge by Touchy Eye Troy.
Hi.
So until next week, sometime, we say to you, ciao!